About a month ago, our family got sick. We have young kids in the house who go to daycare and they seem to always be picking up a new bug every 2 weeks. My wife was especially hit hard and developed a pretty bad cough. When I heard her coughing, I immediately thought about going to the store and picking up this. In 2022, the US cold and cough remedies market brought in over $10 billion in revenue. That's the amount of money it would cost to buy 1,200 luxury yachts, or 3,000 McMansions, or 1/4 of an overpriced social media company. Anyway, the excessive amounts we spend on cough and cold remedies every year makes sense, given that cough is one of the most common reasons for patients to seek out medical care, with over 30 million doctor's visits annually. It's certainly one of the most common symptoms I treat in our hospital. What's the problem with over-the-counter cough remedies? They don't work. Let's talk about it in this video. A cough happens when your airway gets irritated by something foreign that shouldn't be there. It sends a signal to your brain, and your brain tells your diaphragm to cough. The whole thing happens in a really short amount of time. Coughing is considered a reflex, meaning it happens without you thinking about it. And of course, this reflexive nature of coughing is also what makes it annoying. We've all had that cold with cough symptoms that happened too frequently or lasted too long or occurred at night and kept us from sleeping. Despite how irritating coughing can be, it's actually a super important reflex to keep our airways clear and prevent things from getting into our lungs. In older patients, this cough reflex is sometimes decreased, which can put them at risk for getting infections in the lungs like pneumonia. Even so, most folks would prefer to cough less, and that's why there's such an interest in seeking out over-the-counter solutions to decrease cough. Most cough medications come in 2 types, grape and cherry. Just kidding, the 2 main types of cough medications are cough suppressants and expectorants. A cough suppressant is exactly what it sounds like. It blocks your natural cough reflex so you don't cough as much. The most common cough suppressant drug is dextromethorphan. The second type of cough medication is an expectorant, which works to loosen up mucus in the airways. The most common over-the-counter expectorant is guaifenesin. These 2 drugs, dextromethorphan and guaifenesin, make up the active ingredients of most cough medications at the drugstore. The problem is that they've never been shown to work when compared with placebo. There's a fantastic review by Cochrane, a global independent network of researchers, that looked at 29 research papers involving 3,800 adults and over 1,000 children. Overall, they found that there is no good evidence for or against the effectiveness of over-the-counter medications in acute cough. This review looked at not only cough suppressants and expectorants, but also other classes of medications sometimes used for cough, such as antihistamines, analgesics, and honey, and essentially couldn't find any strong evidence that any of it worked. Okay, well, what about using some of these medications together? If you look at over-the-counter medications, you'll frequently see antihistamines, painkillers, cough suppressants, and expectorants used in different combinations. Cochrane also did a major review looking at combinations of cough medications, including 30 studies with over 6,300 patients, and compared treatments across 31 combinations of different over-the-counter drugs. What did they find? A lack of data on the effectiveness of antihistamine analgesic decongestant combinations for the common cold. That's a really long way of saying none of this stuff really works. So in summary, the research really shows that over-the-counter cough medications don't work. It's also important to consider that while most of these medications are pretty well tolerated without significant side effects, they're not completely without harm. In the US, every year, there are about 6,000 visits to the ER for dextromethorphan abuse, which if taken in high quantities can confer hallucinogenic and dissociative properties. Okay, so I've told you the bad news, that most over-the-counter cough medication doesn't work. So what's the solution for cough? An important caveat to all this research is that the comparison group to many of these cough medications is placebo. Placebo is usually a sugar pill or liquid that doesn't contain any active ingredient. In most medical research, a drug is only approved if it can show an effect greater than placebo. So these cough medications don't work when compared to placebo, but that's not to say that they don't work at all. In fact, across many types of research, the placebo effect can create benefit, from improving blood pressure to decreasing symptoms of depression to relieving chronic pain. We don't know all the details of how this happens, but there's likely a true biochemical reaction happening in the brain involving increased release of certain chemicals that modulate mood, emotion, and pain, all of which leads to a real therapeutic benefit. I won't get into the broader ethical questions of using placebo to treat disease, but I think it's interesting to consider that when our goal of treatment is to feel better, does it matter if we feel better because of the drug or because of our expectation of that drug working? So going back to cough and cold medications, we all know the discomfort of that lingering cough, and when we reach for that over-the-counter medication or call the doctor for help, we have a high expectation and desire for relief. This creates the ideal situation for a powerful placebo effect. In fact, in some studies, it's been shown that about 85% of the reason why cough medications are reported to work in the first place is exactly because of the placebo effect. So do I recommend patients with a cold try an over-the-counter medication if they have a cough? Well, there are a number of personal factors that go into this question, but given these medications are generally well tolerated and assuming you're an adult, then yes. Research studies try to answer questions on the population level, but each individual has to consider how the research applies to them personally. In my opinion, it's worth a try because there's still a chance you may experience some benefit, whether that benefit is from placebo or from the medication itself. It's also important to emphasize the benefits of non-medical therapy for cough associated with the common cold, such as rest, hydration, humidity, and a tincture of thyme. I've talked about the role of over-the-counter medications for acute cough. While most acute cough comes from the common cold, the actual differential diagnosis of cough is pretty large and can be quite serious. In general, if you have a cough that lingers for more than a couple weeks or is associated with thick mucus, blood, high fevers, shortness of breath, or chest pain, please go see your healthcare professional. If you're interested in learning more about the physiology of cough, I'll link to a video in the description box below. Thanks for watching.